पहला कमेंट डॉक्टर इंद्रमोहन जी कहते आज थोड़े ज़्यादा बंदे आए ने लगता है पै करके
Does that mean you're scary?
We are all scared, you guys. But I really want to thank you. हाँ फॉर्मूला है जी. Thank you so much. Thanks to Dr. Saab. He insisted, encouraged, so I'm here. And thank you, Jagmohan Sani Veerji, for spending so much time with me. This is going to be an interactive discussion. क्योंकि मैं इन्होंने पूछा कि टॉपिक मैं कहा जी पौधे कर लेंगे क्योंकि पौ नाल भरे हुए हैं. It's more of a personal journey. It's not so much कि भाई let me expound on a topic which I know perfectly. There is no way. And let me give you another quick framework. I started with 10 questions and I ended with 20. So, ਇਹਦੇ ਚ ਆਨਸਰ ਘੱਟ ਨੇ ਥੋੜੇ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੀ ਹੈਗੇ. But with that ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਜੀ ਜੇ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਇੰਨੇ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਹੈ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਤੇ ਬੜਾ ਸਿੰਪਲੀ ਜੀ what is ਨਿਰਭਉ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਥੋੜੀ ਖੋਜ ਕਰੀਏ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ. Then went further ਕਿ ਵੀ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਹੈ ਕੌਣ. Who is ਨਿਰਭਉ ਮਤਲਬ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਸੁਣ ਲਵਾਂ ਜੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਬਣਦਾ. And then,
Have at least some people here.
and I'll try to stick English really. And then, what is that nuska, formula, equation that can make me nirbhau? मैं कित्थों पढ़ लवां कि जे मैं कर दे मेरा ते भौ ही मिट गया सारा. Let me give you the answer जी वो हाले मैंने लभ्या नहीं. Just so that you don't hold your breath for that.
As a Sikh, you're always searching. A Sikh is a searcher for truth.
Always searching, the search goes on. And another caveat as I walk, Jessie ji, my older sister, walk in. Okay, ji, the intelligence is all on that side of the table now, it is confirmed. What do I need to give up to be nirbhau? So I will be using here, main ki karna ji. And then, nirbhau di je quality hai ke, what do I need to do to become nirbhau? मैं किहड़ी चीज़ करा सवेर शाम? What is it that I can do every day that will make me nirbhau? Because I am tired of these fears. हर एक दे है जी, depending on stage of life. Work, fear of work, fear will the kids do well, fear of family. किन्ने fear ने जी? Then what not to do to become nirbhau? What am I doing today which is so wrong? I'm full of fears. And if I saw somebody jada mainu lage this person is nirbhau, how will I recognize bhai wo ladai lad raha hai? Is it a person in daily life who's acting nirbhau? How would I know? How would I gauge? And then if I do something and I become nirbhau, how will I know that I'm nirbhau? Matlab, no, there'll be no fear. What will that feel like? And then if I do it all and I still don't become nirbhau, to fayda ki hoya? So what is it that I'm looking for? What is the ultimate stage that even if I do all this, so maybe the question is wrong. What, if I'm trying to be nirbhau, what do I define as success of nirbhau? What is it? What is that stage? And therefore, is it a goal or is it a process? Nirbhauta wal turna, to walk towards that goal. Is it a goal? Do you get there or do you always keep seeking? And is the pleasure in the seeking or is the pleasure in the answer? Is there an answer?
I don't see any creativity on it. Should be.
And finally, fine. I found the equation. I am now nirbhau. So what? What are the benefits? What happened? How did my life improve? मेरे डर बड़े ने इस वक्त मैं यदि भौ है ओदा भौ है जब भौ मिट गया ते what is that stage? What would I feel? What is the benefit? Too many questions.
Excuse me, Jay. He's not seeing the light on this thing. Is it?
Too close?
And see? Can you tap your microphone? It was working before. Is it on?
Is it on?
हाँ जी इत्थे on है light on नहीं है low battery कह रहे हैं.
Oh. I have a battery short.
We can hear you.
No, it's not for my
It's for the recording.
We're talking about
Want to change the battery? You have
चंगा जी कोई evidence नहीं
take a
रहेगा
2-minute break while you change.
So ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜੀ definitionally मैं कहता हूँ let me figure out कि भै की है डर की है भौ की है and where can I find instances. So obviously आसा दी वार comes to mind सिद्धा ही आसा की वार च भै विच I'm going to stand over here. ਪਵਨ ਵੇ ਸਦਵਾਓ ਭੈ ਵਿੱਚ ਚਲੇ ਲੱਖ ਦਰਿਆਓ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਭੈ ਵਾਲੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਪੂਰੀ ਪੌੜੀ as you know, and then it really ends with ਨਾਨਕ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰੰਕਾਰ ਸਚ ਏਕ। ਸੋ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਭੈ ਵੇ ਹੈ, ਭੈ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ, ਨਦੀਆਂ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀਆਂ, ਧਰਤੀ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, the whole universe is in this ਭੈ। ਸੋ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਿਆ, ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਭੈ fear of God, ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਤੇ fear ਹੋ ਗਿਆ God ਦਾ, ਲੇਕਿਨ God is not something to fear, so how could it be fear? So it can't be fear, it is more hukam, it is more law, it is his discipline, it is ਰੱਬ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ this is my, ਜੇ ਰੱਬ ਦੇ ਭੈ ਵਿੱਚ, ਰੱਬ ਦੇ ਹੁਕਮ ਵਿੱਚ, ਰੱਬ ਦੀ ਡਿਸਪਲਿਨ ਵਿੱਚ, ਰੱਬ ਦੇ laws ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ। ਸੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰੰਕਾਰ ਸੱਚ ਏਕ, ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਹੈ, ਨਿਰਭਉ ਤੇ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ। I'm going to go relatively fast, but I'll stop and we can talk around. But ਡਰ 52 ਅੱਖਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਡੱਡਾ ਡਰ ਉਪਜੇ ਡਰ ਜਾਏ। ਸੋ ਡਰ ਤੇ the definition of ਡੱਡਾ is ਡਰ। very interesting। ਉਹਦੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾ ਕਿ A for apple, B for bat, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਡੱਡਾ ਦਾ ਡਰ ਹੀ ਰੱਖਿਆ, ਮਤਲਬ ਇੰਨੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ, ਖਾ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਨੂੰ। ਤੇ ਤਾਂ ਡਰ ਮੈਂ ਡਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸਮਾਏ ਕਿ ਜਦ ਰੱਬ ਦਾ ਡਰ ਉਪਜਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਡਰ ਨਿਕਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ। ਡਰ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਬਟ ਰੱਬ ਦਾ ਡਰ ਹੈ, ਬੜਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਡਰ ਹੈ। ਜੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਡਰ ਚ ਆ ਜਾਓ ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਡਰ ਨਿਕਲ ਜਾਣਗੇ। ਸੋ ਹਾਊ ਡੂ ਆਈ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਸ਼ੀਏਟ which ਡਰ, how do I get into the ਡਰ of ਰੱਬ so my other ਡਰਸ go away? ਜੋ ਡਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਡਰ ਲਾਗੇ। It's interesting, mathematically it's the flip is also true. If you are not in his dar, if you are not in his dar, then the other fears come. ਪਹਿਲਾ ਤਾਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਜੀ, if you are in his dar, all the dars go away. They're very nice. But there's another condition. If you are not in his dar, then all the dars will come. Yeah, this is the one-to-one equation, and mathematically you can think of it. ਨਿਡਰ ਹੁਆ ਡਰ ਉਹ ਹੋਏ ਭਾਗੇ। ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਨਿਡਰ ਬਣ ਜਾਵਾਂ, ਇੱਥੇ ਇੰਟਰਸਟਿੰਗਲੀ ਨਿਡਰ ਲਿਖਿਆ, ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਿਖਿਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਹੈ। ਜੇ ਨਿਡਰ ਹੋਏ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਡਰ ਨੱਠ ਜਾਣਗੇ। ਸੋ ਫਾਈਨ, ਡੈਫੀਨੇਸ਼ਨਲੀ ਇੰਨੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਗਈ। ਐਂਡ ਜਦ ਮੈਂ ਡੁੱਬੀ ਮਾਰੀ with the encouragement of the elders in the room, I had no idea, and even now I have no idea, but it became very fascinating to me ਕਿ ਉਹਦੇ ਡਰ 'ਚ ਮੈਂ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ, ਇੰਨਾ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਗਿਆ। ਬਟ ਉਹਦੇ ਡਰ 'ਚ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਰਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ? And what kind of ਡਰ is this? ਹਰ ਦੂਜੜੀ ਲਾਭ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਦੀ ਡਰ ਦੀ ਥੋੜੀ ਡੈਫੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ। ਹੈਗਾ ਜੀ, ਨਿਰਭਉ ਹੈ ਮਨ ਹੋਏ ਹਉਮੈ ਮੈਲ ਗਵਾਇਆ ਬਲਰਾਮ ਜੀਓ निर्मल भाव पाया, निर्मल भाव. So then it sunk in कि this is really a soft भाव, निर्मल, प्यार वाला. In the fear of God इत्थे लिखा English, as you know we all struggle with English translations, but this is निर्मल भाव. So जो भय है, जो law of nature, it is निर्मल भाव. जे मैं रब दे
translation, the immaculate is applied to God, but actually it applies to the fear. It says it's a positive kind of fear.
And Bhao is love.
That's what they say in the pure.
Bhao is all this.
Here is Bhao. Yes, line is
हाँ, निर्मल भाव. Sorry.
Oh, it's Bhao.
It is not the pay. The pay is निर्मल भाव.
Right.
Okay, we have
Just a minute. Minor digression. Should we not also interpret Bhao to be awe?
Yes.
To be?
Awe. Instead of a fear, Bhao is like,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
you are impressed by the Creator and His creation, and you are just moved by it.
Absolutely.
And that is the awe, which is nothing to do with fear.
Absolutely. In fact, Asadivar, the moment you are with the pay podi, so vismad aa janda.
Right.
The vismad te pay de which it's like amazing, awestruck.
Right.
And you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਜੀ।
So I think there is the issue of narrow definition versus broad definition.
Correct.
also the translation of which word we use. I think there's the negative fear of everything in the world, of being afraid of what will somebody say to me, what will they do to me, do I care what people think, or that kind of fear of worldly things. even fear of death, other fears, the fear that they're telling you to try, the Gurbani tells us to want to overcome, become Nirbhau, is those kinds of fears. But when you use bhav for God, I think it's not the fear of somebody unreasonable who's mean, because God is all loving, but it's all, as you said, respect, it's discipline, it's recognizing His hukum, it is it's obedience also in a way, accepting His hukum, and it's also knowing that you are accountable. There's the healthy positive fear of God in the sense that if I do something bad, God won't be pleased with me. So that's a kind of healthy kind of fear, positive kind of fear. So that kind of bhav, I think, is Gurbani tells us to have, and it also tells us that without that you can't even have love. You need that bhav to love God. It's jinman bhav tinaman bhav. So it's a positive kind of bhav, but fear is a bad translation for it.
Right, absolutely. So, bilkul theek. So, Nanak jinaman pao, tinaman pao. Jide, whoever holds Vaheguru's pao, who follows the commands, who is in the hukam, ode hi man vich love hai. Absolutely. So, another one. So, how do you recognize, as one was thinking about Pan Pao, the Nirbhau Gyani hunde ne, Gyani, because the definition of Gyani again, and then as you go further into the Shabad that we just talked about, Asakivar again from Ang 465, Nanak Jina Man Pao, Tina Man Pao. I want to move forward from the definitions and get a little clear, and then let's differentiate worldly fears. Worldly fears primarily are death, birth and old age. Nanak bata karta ha jithe mirt na janam jara. So again, a surprise mein ki janam de ki, why is janam so fearful? Old age, death, to chalo samajh aa gayi. Janam kyun? So, and I've read these shabads earlier but never really understood. Jaisi agan udhar mein taisi bahar maya. The kid who's being born is just so afraid, first of all in the womb, the heat of the womb. I don't fully understand the context, but clear, and the kid seems to be afraid कि मैं माया विच जम्मन लगा, वो चिमड़ जाएगी. माया अगन सब एको जेही. That's the biggest fear. Janma, about to be born, and कहंदे ने कि जिदा हाथ बंद होंदा है बच्चे दा खुल जांदा है, या when the kid comes out crying, it's like, hi, I left my creator to be born into this maya. That's a big fear. I don't feel that fear, I don't recognize that fear, but it is there. Janam, Maran, the old age. So, moving now, कि अच्छा जी हुने fears हैगे ने, ते let's talk about. I want to get rid of these fears. Kabir ji कहंदे ने, तव गुना कहाँ जगत गुरा जो करम ना से, सिंह सरन कत जाए जो जम्बक ग्रासे. Kabir ji is a challenge in one of the shabads कि भाई हूँ मैं तेरे वाल आ रहा रब, तेरा की फायदा है? What's the benefit to me? Because if I am in your sanctuary, and you are the lion, तो गिद्दड़ भी मैनू कुछ कर जाए फायदा की होया? This is back to my question originally कि जब मैं कुछ कीता भी तो उहदे नाल की होएगा? ते answer of course is there. Sorry, I'm cutting back and forth. मैं को तरफ कर लेता हूँ. That'll avoid. तो कबीर जी सदे ने कि आवा जाना हुक्म तिसे, आना जाना तो हुक्म च. But दर्शन छोड़ भय समदर्शी एको नाम त्यावेगे. Now, as we go deeper, Naam Dhyana is embedded in almost every Shabad about, one of the formulas for getting rid of your fear is Naam Dhyana. but more importantly, jit hum laye tithi lage तैसे कर्म कमाएंगे. Not only ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਿਛਲਾ ਵਾਲਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਭਗਤ ਰਾਮਾਨੰਦ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਪਿੱਛੋਂ ਦੇ ਕਰਮ ਵੀ ਮਿਟਾ ਦੋਗੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਾਂਗਾ ਪਿੱਛੋਂ ਦੇ, ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਅੱਗੋਂ ਦੇ ਵੀ ਕਰਮ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਕਮਾਣੇ ਠੀਕ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਗੇ. ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੈਂ ਭੌ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿੰਦਾ ਰਿਹਾ all these fears, ਮਤਲਬ how powerful of a message is this ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਨਾਮ ਧਿਆਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੇਰੇ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਵੀ ਕਰਮ ਮਿਟ ਜਾਣਗੇ ਤੇ ਅਗਲੇ ਵੀ ਕਰਮ ਠੀਕ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਗੇ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਕਮ 'ਚ ਆ ਜਾਵਾਂਗਾ ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਭੌ ਮਿਟ ਜਾਏਗਾ. ਟਾਕਿੰਗ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਕਿ ਬੈਨੀਫਿਟ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਹੋਣ ਦਾ. ਫਿਰ ਰਾਗ ਆਸਾ ਮਹਲਾ ਚੌਥਾ ਸੋਪਰਖ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਰ ਧਿਆਵੋ ਤੁਝੀ, ਹਾਂਜੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਹੀ ਹੈ. ਤੇ ਜਿਨ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਜਿਨ ਹਰ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਧਿਆਇਆ ਜੀ ਤਿਨ ਕਾ ਭਾਉ ਸਭ ਗਵਾਸੀ. ਹੀ ਫਿਰ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨੂੰ ਧਿਆਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਧਿਆਵਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਭਾਉ ਗਵਾਸੀ. ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਅਲਟੀਮੇਟ ਗੋਲ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਸੁਖਮਨੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕਿ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਜਪੇ ਸਗਲ ਭਉ ਮਿਟੇ, ਮਤਲਬ ਹੋਰ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ. ਇੱਕ ਤੇ ਭਉ ਮਿਟਦੇ ਪਏ ਨੇ, ਫਿਰ ਪ੍ਰਾਣੀ ਛੁੱਟ ਰਿਹਾ, ਮਤਲਬ ਛੁਟਕਾਰਾ ਮਿਲ ਰਿਹਾ, ਦੁੱਖ ਦੂਰ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਸੁਖ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਚਿੰਤਾ ਜਾਏ ਮਿਟੇ ਅਹੰਕਾਰ. ਚਿੰਤਾ ਵੀ ਮਿਟ ਗਈ ਤੇ ਅਹੰਕਾਰ ਹੁਣ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੌਲੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਅਹੰਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਸਮਝ ਆਣੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਕੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ. ਤੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਹਉਮੈ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮਤਲਬ ਜੇ ਭੈ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਬਣਨਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ this has something to do with ਹਉਮੈ ਨੂੰ ਛੱਡਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ. ਹਰ ਵਾਰੀ ਹਉਮੈ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ. But home, we'll get into it a little bit. Home, what role does that play? And then sir upar thada gur sura. अब कितनी powerful message है कि अपना तुसी control, if you give up your control, हैं जी, मेरे सिर दे ऊपर thada gur sura खड़े है कि वो मेरे लिए लड़ेगा. He is the one who is fighting for me. My fears will depart.
So is he talking about surrender to the Guru?
He's talking about surrender to the Guru. Now, how does one do this? Home bhi chhadni hai, you got to surrender to the Guru. You know, the sukh will come, chinta will go away, dukh will go away, you will be liberated. All the fears will depart. But how do I do it? What is it that has to be done to make this happen? Further on, another 3 ਸ਼ਬਦ ਮਹਿਲਾ ਚੌਥਾ ਕਿ ਪੰਜੋਂ ਦੇ ਪੰਜੋਂ the 5 evil ones will be banished. Again ਨਾਮ ਧਿਆਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਨਾਮ ਧਿਆਏ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ. ਤੇ ਜੋ ਹਰ ਨਾਮ ਧਿਆਵੇ ਤਿੰਨ ਡਰ ਸਟ ਕਤਿਆ. ਸਟ I mean, just completely thrown away. Again and again and again. नाम वो नाम जपो. जिन्हें हर नाम ते आया तिन्हें चूके सरब जंजाला. Doubts, fears, entanglements, फंसे हुए. You know, the picture I always have in mind is that you're in this kind of mud pit and you're trying to come out and वो सारा कुछ चिपकड़े हुए हैं निकले. You know, you're in slow motion. You can't move because these entanglements are holding you back. So all these bhav, how does one free oneself from these bhavs to be truly one with Vaheguru, to actually achieve what one wants to achieve? Acha, then how would you know कि hun nirbhau? How does being nirbhauta feel like? Who is somebody who is nirbhau? Kabir ji, 1162 अंग, गंग गुसायन गहर गंभीर. एपिसोड ऑफ चेंज लाती है उन्होंने गंगा ਵਿੱਚ ਸੁੱਟਦਾ ਹੈ. I think if I remember right, Jagmohan Veer ji ne, as he explained it to me, ਤੇ ਉਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਥੋੜੀ ਅਕਲ ਕਿ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦੇ ਲੋਕਲਸ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਕਬੀਰ ਜੀ ਵਾਸ ਵੈਰੀ ਪਪੂਲਰ, ਇਹਨੂੰ ਸੁੱਟ ਦਿਓ, ਮਾਰ ਦਿਓ। Bound and gagged in chains, thrown into the river. ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਮਨ ਨਾ ਡਿੱਗੇ ਤਨ ਕਾਹੇ ਕੋ ਡਰਾਏ, ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਡਰਾਂ ਕਿਉਂ? ਉਹ ਪੁੱਛ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਚਰਨ ਕਮਲ ਚਿਤ ਰਹਿਓ ਸਮਾਏ। Other than my wife, this is ਉਹ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਰਹੋ ਹੋਰ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਦੂਜੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਹਾਲੇ ਤੱਕ ਸੌਰੀ ਮੈਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਆਈ ਵਾਜ਼ ਔਨ ਕੋਰਸ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਟੇਢਾ ਨਿਕਲ ਗਿਆ। ਤੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਬੀਰ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਡਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੈ, ਗੁਰੂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੈ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਗੰਗਾ ਦੀ ਵੇਵਸ ਆਈਆਂ ਨੇ, ਚੇਨਸ ਟੁੱਟੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਖੜੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ। ਮੇਰਾ ਰਾਖਣਹਾਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੈ। ਕਬੀਰ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਐਲੀਫੈਂਟ ਵਾਲਾ, ਕਿ ਉਹ ਕਹੇ ਜੀ ਮਾਰ ਦਿਓ, ਫਿਰ ਬੰਨ ਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਸੁੱਟਤਾ। The elephant was given alcohol. The elephant, the Mahout was instructed to crush Kabir ji. Jad the elephant got close to Kabir ji, he looked at him, he sat down, and then utho da Kaji Sikha, he insisted कि भाई if you the Mahout, if you don't make your elephant kill Kabir ji, I'm going to kill you. So 3 tries were done by the elephant. At the end the elephant bowed down to Kabir ji. ਕਿ ਉਹਦੇ ਭੈ ਵਿੱਚ even the elephants are in the ਭੈ, ਉਹਦੇ laws ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, in his discipline, even animals, we talked about rivers, mountains, but even the elephants are in paw, and Kabir ji sitting there as a Nirbhau person knowing ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਰੱਬ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੈ, ਕਰ ਲਓ ਜੋ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ। What a state of Nirbhauta.
Gada hoye, Vishnu marna sake ko.
It just sounds like he must be a good swimmer also. I mean, it's so I don't swim.
Not only is he a good swimmer, the waves came, they broke the chain and they tossed him out, and he was sitting on a
But minimally you have to be a swimmer.
he was sitting on a deer skin, big shala te baithe san.
Can you look at this line again? Man na dige, tan kahe bod raha hai. Should tan man na dige, tan kahe bod raha hai. So does it mean that we have the fear from our physical body and man is without
Can you
fear?
take the microphone?
As long as the mind is asthir, then the tongue doesn't feel the pain.
Man na dige, tan kahe bod raha hai. Okay.
Comma ਇੱਥੇ
Okay, yeah. Commercial liberation.
हाँ जी, comma.
Yeah.
I think Penji, who gave the talk a couple of months ago, spent some time on this. I mean, it's all about the man, of course. Man na dike.
Depending on your state of mind, there's no bodily concerns or fears would go away if your mind is in tune with Vaheguru, something like that. Right?
And what a great segue into Mehla Panjwa. ਤੱਤੀ ਤਵੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਮੇਰੇ ਸੰਗ ਸਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾਲੇ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਦੀ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਕਿਡ ਯੂ ਗਰੋ ਅਪ ਐਂਡ ਯੂ ਹੀਅਰ ਦ ਸਾਕੀ ਕਿ ਦੇयर इज ਅ ਹਿਊਮਨ ਬੀਇੰਗ ਸਿਟਿੰਗ ਔਨ ਅ ਤੱਤੀ ਤਵੀ ਐਂਡ ਸੈਂਡ ਇਜ਼ ਬੀਇੰਗ poured. ਹਾਊ ਕੁਡ ਹੀ ਨਾਟ ਫੀਲ ਪੇਨ ਐਂਡ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਆਲ ਓਵਰ। ਜੇ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਹੈਗੇ, ਜਿੰਨੇ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਹੈਗੇ, ਨਾਮ ਜਪਦੇ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਮੇਰੇ ਸੰਗ ਸਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾਲੇ। I mean, the state of the mind is so powerful. The body, he's not feeling pain. He's just not feeling pain. Not only that, he goes on to say, "Sabko meet hum apan kina." Hanji, this is going into. I've always been fascinated with Nirbhau Nirvair. Hanji, ke Nirbhau te you have fear, but if you have no vair, how can you have fear? So he is saying, "Sabko meet hum apan kina," on the tatti tavi, going through all this, and then yet saying, "Ke sabko main meet manya."
Yeah, sounds like the two do go hand in hand. But if you don't see anybody as an enemy, you don't have to be afraid of anybody. And vice versa, if you have no fear in your heart, you don't need to hate anyone.
I
Very
think
close connection.
the fact that, I was talking to Jagjot about this yesterday, the fact that Nirbhau comes before Nirvad, you will always have Vad as long as you have fear. So it's only when the fear is gone, because we react, because we are fearful, fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of being lesser than someone, fear of losing someone. So once the fear is assuaged, there are no enemies. Na ko bari, na hai begana.
Have we defined what is Nirbhau?
That's what the whole talk is about.
No. And because I think it's a big issue, the Nirbhau, there's a big definition of Nirbhau and a small definition of Nirbhau. If I talk about a fearless person, he can be stupid if he's really fearless. The purpose of fear is to alert you that you should do something corrective, otherwise you are in danger. Right? That is a narrow definition. Right?
There's a deeper spiritual meaning there, which is...
Well, everything has deeper meaning. But what I'm saying is that there is simple meaning fearless, which is recklessness. I'll just go do it. Right? And that is the wrong kind of Nirbhau. The right kind is the methodical one, where you see the feeling of fear as something to attend to, right? And try to redress it. And once you have decided how to redress it, then you want to avoid unnecessary, unuseful doubts, right? That is the true form of Nirbhau. And whether it is humanly possible, I don't know. But I would think that if it is human, there's no other choice. That as humans, we try to figure out how not to get into trouble. And once we figure out how not to trouble, most of us try to behave normally. So in some sense, Nirbhau is the normal behavior if it is prudent.
Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, there are different types of definition of fear. Right? We are staying at a higher Nirbhau from a spiritual perspective as, the fifth or sixth word in the Mool Mantra, कि Nirbhau ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਰੱਬ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਵੱਲ ਜੇ ਤੁਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਹੌਲੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਸਮਝ ਆਣੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਦੂਜੇ ਵਰਲਡਲੀ ਫੀਅਰਸ ਛੱਡਨੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਭਾਵ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਣਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ So
I did just for purposes, I did a search on Nirbhau. I think there was 161 lines, right, throughout the Gurdwara. Sounds like I think that covers everything. However, I searched for it. So, say Nirbhau jin bhau paya, so sukhiya jin param gaya. This is a very beautiful shabad. It also describes Nirbhau is not a lonely thing. So एकांती जिस रिद्धा आए सोई नेचर साथ आए एका हो गया एक भी दर्शन और basically try that you need the stillness of mind, the stillness of the heart, the concentration of the mind, sort of meditative stuff, which is mentioned many times in the Gurdwara.
I had the same struggle ji
mentioned many
Bhakti exactly. So we naam japan di gal I had the same struggle jab main search mari main kya 160 180 180 mentions. I just started with one and branched off, and I was fortunate enough again to spend time with both Nirbhau Veer ji and Jagmohan Veer ji. So te nahi ji nahi meri te hai nahi to main tape on karta si ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਮੈਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਚ ਦੱਸਾਂਗਾ ਮੈਂ ਹੋਮਵਰਕ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਇਹਦੇ ਚ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਚ ਤੇ ਲੇਕਿਨ it was what I had to do was stay focused on ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਬੰਨਾ ਹੈ मतलब एनालाइज करना मैं शुरू में एनालाइज नहीं करना एक्सपीरियंशियल है तो कितना करिए सो जस्ट टू फिनिश ऑफ द टॉपिक के जब नानक साहब सियालकोट सीगे खून ही खून आले दुआले सीगा ते तद भी उन्होंने साहिब के गुण गाए हैं जी ते मतलब ਇਹ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਨਿਰਭਉਤਾ ਦੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੀ what a status what a stage I mean humanly possible नहीं I agree मैं तो सोच नहीं सकता so what do I do हैं जी मैं क्या देख लिया हूँ what is my condition तो my condition is कि मैं तो निमाना गरीब low intellect तो तू बाजीगर you're a puppeteer who's doing so what can I do one of the struggles I had was उद्दम ते one of my favorite topics मैं तो टीवी देख रहा रब दी मर्जी मैं टीवी देख रहा जे रब दी मर्जी होएगी मेरे तो अरदास करा मैं तो सारा ਉਹਦੇ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਚ ठीक है जी गल ही खत्म हो गई ते ਨਿਰਭਉ ਵੀ ਉਹੀ ਬਣਾ ਦੇਣਗੇ, ਰਾਈਟ? ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਮੇਰੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਈ, ਆਈ ਐਮ ਸਿਟਿੰਗ ਹੇਅਰ, ਆਈ ਐਮ ਨੰਬਰ 2000 ਇਨ ਦ ਕਿਊ। ਜਦ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਬਣਾ ਦੇਣਗੇ, ਫਾਇਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ। ਬਟ ਵਾਟ ਡੂ ਆਈ ਡੂ? To me it was, how do you get off and take step one towards understanding is one, but experiencing is at another. So the first thing that stood out to me was कि हुन एक और है, कबीर जी कहते ने, कबीर मन जाने सब बात जानत ही औगुन करे। Like I know everything, but मैं फिर भी गलतियां करी जाना। And the favorite one, काहे की कुसलात हाथ दीप कुएं परे। हाथ च जोत है गुरु ग्रंथ साहब, पढ़ रहे नहीं करना। You take that light and you fall into the well, huh? I mean, this is exactly what my life feels like. Knowing fully well कि डरना नहीं, ये नहीं करना, वो knowing fully well नाम जपना है, falling into a stupid कुआं every day. I'll speak for myself. So how do you prevent that from happening? So back to the home wali gal कि जी I figured कि you start with कि you are nothing, I am nothing, तू समर्थ वड्डा, मेरी मत थोड़ी राम। Starting point, I am the little grain in the middle of nowhere, and तू समर्थ, you know it all, मैं नीच। Without that, we talk about home and control, without understanding how vast ਉਹਦੇ ਭੈ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸੋ ਦਰਿਆ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਸ, ਮਾਊਂਟੇਨਸ, ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸ। Who am I? I'm a niche. I am a ਥੋੜੀ ਅਕਲ ਵਾਲਾ ਬੰਦਾ, ਇੰਟੈਲੈਕਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। I do not have, again Jagmohan Veer ji gave this example, I cannot see behind this wall. There is something happening behind the wall, but I can't see it. मेरी दृष्टि, मेरी अक्ल नहीं है, I don't have the framework to describe him. So the first point is, I'm just too small. वो हर बयान ते जी ते मैं मूर्ख, अगेन करो बेनती सतगुर अपने, मैं मूर्ख दे उपदेसो रे, प्लीज, हाँ जी, प्लीज teach me, tell me what I can do so that I can make some progress. Clear message, absolutely कि भाई सुखमनी साहब, कि look, do you know what he's done for you? ਉਹਦੇ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰਮਈਆ ਕੇ ਗੁਣ ਚੇਤ ਪ੍ਰਾਨੀ। You have to just do his ustat, you have to japo naam, because look what he's done for you. He's given you just about everything. ਤੁਹਾਡੀ appearance ਉਹਨੇ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ, he's adorned and decorated you, ਜਿੰਤੂ ਸਾਜ ਸਵਾਰ ਸਿਗਾਰਿਆ, he has made you, he's decorated you, he's preserved you। ਉਹਨੇ ਦੁੱਧ ਪਿਆ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੁੱਧ ਪਿਆ ਹੈ, and how what a small person you are and what he's done for you, ਉਹਦੇ ਗੁਣ ਚੇਤ ਪ੍ਰਾਨੀ। ਮੈਂ ਸੁਣਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਸਾਰੀ ਖੇਡ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਖੇਡ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੀ ਹੈ, ਹੌਲੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਸਮਝ ਆਣੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਈ। ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਬੜਾ ਔਖਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਏਗਾ, ਉਹ ਦੂਜੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ, ਬਟ ਇਹ ਖੇਡ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੀ ਹੈ, ਰੱਬ ਦੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੀ ਹੈ, ਹਾਂਜੀ। ਭਰ ਜੋਬਨ ਭੋਜਨ ਸੁਖ, he's fed you in your youth, he's taking care of you in your old age, ਤੂੰ ਬਸ ਉਹਦੇ ਗੁਣ ਚੇਤ ਕਰ। Now back to Veer ji's point, ਜਿਨ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਤੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੁਣੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਹਾਰ ਭਰਿਓ ਸੁਆਮੀ ਕਹਿ ਦੁਆਰੇ, ਦੀਜੇ ਬੁੱਧ ਵਿਵੇਕਾ, give me the discerning intellect, teach me the ability to understand right from wrong, high fear, low fear, ਛੋਟਾ fear, ਮੋਟਾ fear, how to figure out, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬੁੱਧ ਵਿਵੇਕ ਵਾਲੀ ਵਿਵੇਕ ਬੁੱਧ ਦਿਓ ਤੁਸੀਂ, discerning intellect, because I have collapsed, exhausted। ਹਾਰ ਭਰਿਓ ਸੁਆਮੀ, ਜਦ ਤੱਕ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਨੀਚਾ ਨੀਚ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਮੰਨ ਨਾ ਲਵਾਂ, ਜਦ ਤੱਕ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਨਾ ਮੰਨਿਆ ਮੈਂ ਹਾਰਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ, ਜਦ ਤੱਕ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਨਾ ਆਈ ਕਿ ਰੱਬ ਨੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਮੇਰੇ ਤੇ, ਜਦ ਤੱਕ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੋਂ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਨਾ ਮੰਗਾ ਕਿ give me some ਵਿਵੇਕ ਬੁੱਧ, ਮੇਰੇ ਫੇਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਣ ਲੱਗੇ, ਮੈਂ ਭੌਂ 'ਚ ਹੀ ਮਰਦੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ। फिर जपजी साहब ਦੇ ਰੋਜ਼ ਮਤਲਬ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਦੂਜੇ ਤੀਰਥ ਨਾਵਾ ਜੇਤਸ ਭਾਵਾਂ ਵਿਨ ਭਾਣੇ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਸੀ what should I not do to be nirbhau what should I not do sounds easy ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਹੋਏਗਾ what not to do ਕਿ don't talk rudely to your co-workers at work ਛੋਟੀ ਜੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਇਹਦੇ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਵਿਨ ਭਾਣੇ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਹੁਕਮ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਹੋ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੇ that is what you will not do what will you not do you will not be outside his hukam what will you do you will naam japo or do we aage don't we aage and the beauty is it's not the 20 list of 20 you will not hurt people in the shopping mall you will, no that crap I mean this is thoda framework set hai hukam chalo ਪਹਿਲੇ ਵੀ ਸੀਗਾ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਕਮ ਦੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਡਰਾਉਂਦੇ ਰਹਿਣਗੇ ਹੁਕਮ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਯਾਰ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਇਕੁਏਸ਼ਨ
What does it mean to be a Nirbhau?
I had that, but then I took it out because I knew कि वो छोटी सी slide है, वो पूरा topic
That could be enough for a whole session.
More to my point, मैं कहा let's go to उद्दम. उद्दम करो, करावो ठाकुर, पेखत साधु संग. उद्दम करो. Cannot sit on the couch anymore, cannot watch TV, cannot wait for the another to rain down one day and it be green all over. ये तो उद्दम करना पड़ेगा. और बाद दा टॉपिक है अगला टॉपिक है तो मैं जगमोहन मीर जी ने पहले टॉपिक किया है अबाउट गुरप्रसाद हाँ जी वो तो इज अ ऑसम टॉपिक बट उद्दम करो ये बैठ के मतलब नहीं मेरे कंट्रोल च नहीं है मैं तो मायूस या बैठा इज जस्ट नॉट फीजिबल यू हैव टू उद्दम यू हैव टू डू उद्दम एंड देन उद्दम करे दिया जियो तू कमायो दा सुख पहुंच without them there's just no way to live enjoy peace you have to get into it and ਧਿਆਏ ਦਿਆ ਜਪ ਨਾਮ ਧਿਆਨਾ is the way is the to do is the living in hukam great example again ਜਗਮੋਹਨ ਮੀਰ ਜੀ ਗਏ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮਤਲਬ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਨਿਤਨੇਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੇ ਫਲਾਈਟ ਫੜਨੀ ਹੋਏ ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ ਦੀ 4 ਵਜੇ ਦੀ ਤੇ ਬੰਦਾ puts an alarm at 2:30 dresses reaches the airport at 3:50 you catch the flight at 4 because you've done uddam for that somehow that flight will lead to some business dealing or meeting in which you will have the worldly success but uddam for nitnem naam japna in the morning which leads to nirbhauta which leads to ਨਾਮ ਜਪਨਾ which leads to true success ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕਰਮ ਕੱਟੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਅਗਲੇ ਕਰਮ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚੰਗੇ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਫਿਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਦਮ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਇਜ਼ ਅ ਫੇਲਿੰਗ ਆਫ ਅਸ ਮੀ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਹਿਊਮਨ ਬੀਇੰਗ that is the one that is what I would do if I was in hukam ikko there is just one chance right is dehi ko ਸਿਮਰੋ ਦੇ ਤਬ ਐ ਮਾਨਸ ਦੇਹੀ ਪਾਈ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਗੁਰ ਸੇਵਾ ਤੇ ਭਗਤ ਕਮਾਈ ਤਬ ਐ ਮਾਨਸ ਦੇਹੀ ਪਾਈ I've been thinking why do we come here and what do we do why do we have dissatisfaction and fears in our life कि मैं काम कर रहा dissatisfaction है उस which भी है so what is the purpose of life all of us ask that you can ask a teenager that you can ask a 60-year-old person that what is the purpose of life and the answer is not stop analyzing recognize you're nothing fall in love with the guru live in the hukam japo naam because you have earned the human body for a purpose bhajo gobind bhool mat jaye manas janam ka ehi lav complete redefinition of framework success in life is defined by ਕਿ ਜੀ ਇਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਘਰ ਨੇ ਜੀ ਤੇ ਗੱਡੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਜੀ ਤੇ ਇਨਵੈਸਟਮੈਂਟ ਨੌਨਸੈਂਸ ਰਾਈਟ ਬਟ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ in this infinite time ਤਾਂ ਛੱਡੋ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੀ ਕੁਝ in this infinite universe ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜੇ ਟਪਕਾਇਆ ਗਿਆ you've been presented with an opportunity and you have wasted it with all the nonsense ਹਾਲੇ ਤੇ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਣ ਤੋਂ ਤੇ ਅਕਲ ਆਏਗੀ ਨਾ how to serve mankind ਹਲੇ ਗੱਲ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਈ। ਐਂਡ ਲਿਵਿੰਗ ਇਨ ਗ੍ਰਸਤੀ, ਪੇੜਾਂ ਦੇ ਥੱਲੇ ਵੀ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਪਾਠ ਪੂਜਾ। So that at that point you start saying कि अच्छा हाँ जी राती रुती थिती वार अपने जपजी साहब च फेर, मतलब this idea कि if I do all this मैंने तो कुछ दिता ही नहीं, मेरा पैसा कौन कमाएगा, मैं जब कीर्तन कुर्तन ज़्यादा लग गया तो पैसे कितों आएंगे, वो तो चल ही रहे, उन्हें सब कुछ दिता है। I mean he's given seasons, छड्डो तुसी कारां दी गल्लां, he's given wind, water, fire, सब कुछ देता है। I mean big things, an environment in which you can prosper. So what is holding us back? नानक ओ बैसनो परम गत पावे। ਉਹ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਵੈਸ਼ਨੂ ਹੈ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰੱਬ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ? ਉਹ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਮਾਇਆ ਦੇ ਬਗੈਰ ਉਹ ਕਿਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ? ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਾਇਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਾ ਫਸਿਆ ਹੋਵੇ, ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਭੈ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਭੌ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਬ ਦੇ ਭੈ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਵੇ, ਉਹ ਪਰਮ ਗਤ ਪਾਵੇ। ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਇੱਕ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਸਟੇਜ ਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਰਾਜ ਨਾ ਚਾਹੋ, ਮੁਕਤ ਨਾ ਚਾਹੋ, ਮਨ ਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਚਰਨ ਕਮਲਾਰੇ। I mean this is the ਸੰਤੋਖ stage, ਨਿਰਭਉਤਾ ਤੇ ਛੱਡੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ, to reach that stage of satisfaction, happiness, contentment, ਸੰਤੋਖ। And of course how can one not talk about another? ਮੈਂ ਘਰੇ ਗਿਆ, ਮੈਂ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਥੋੜਾ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਤੇ ਭਾਈ ਅਵਤਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਹੈਗਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਤੇ ਆਫ ਕੋਰਸ ਮਹਿਲਾ ਪੰਜਵਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੈ, ਬਟ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ I can send it to you, I have an MP3 of this, ਰਾਖੋ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਧਾਰ ਤੇਰੀ ਸ਼ਰਨ ਤੇਰੇ ਦਰਬਾਰ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੂੰ ਰੱਖ ਲੈ ਰੱਬ, ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਤੂੰ ਰਾਖੇ ਤਿਸ ਕੋ ਮਾਰੇ। ਕੌਣ ਮਾਰ ਸਕਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ if you keep me? ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਤੇ ਉਹੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਉੱਪਰ ਨਦਰ ਕਰੇ ਕਰਤਾਰ। ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ, after doing all this, we are not doing this, I am not doing this with the hope ke that predefined idea of success will happen. Through this process the definition of success has changed, and if the definition of success has changed, then what will happen, he will give me what he thinks is right. I'm not doing this to achieve something. वो तो framework ही गलत हो गया ना, a wrong framework. So what will come will be because of his nadar. मेरी पुट्ठी definition, मैं बैठा हूँ ऐसी couch पे कि जब नदर होएगी मैंने उठाएंगे। हुन उद्दम करो, नाम जपो, because you are here only with this janam, manukh janam, for one shot. And definition of success has to change to ਪਿਛਲੇ ਦੇ ਕਰਮ ਮਿਟ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਅਗਲੇ ਦੇ ਕਰਮ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਠੀਕ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਕਮ 'ਚ ਰਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਗੋਲ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਇਟਸ ਅ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ। ਐਂਡ ਆਫ ਕੋਰਸ ਜਿਸ ਉੱਪਰ ਨਦਰ ਕਰੇ ਕਰਤਾ। ਭਾਈ, I wanted to finish on time and I think I have. So that would be the last slide. Questions? I really don't have answers, but it would be great to have some discussion. Any questions, comments? Probably I still can't answer what is the meaning of Nirbhau, but
that is ऐसी मांग गोविंद ते, ऐसी मांग गोविंद ते, टहल संतन के संग साधु का, हरिनामा जप परम गते. I think the number of points which came up in your very deep study, I appreciate it, and I am aware of it that you have very rich heritage, being the daughter of a very well-known scholar, Narula ji. ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਇੱਕ ਯਾਦ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਸ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਕੋਈ ਇੱਕ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਮਝੋ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ, ਔਰ ਜਿਸ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਧੀਆਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਤਾਂ ਸਮਝੋ ਕਿ 7 ਸਾਲ 7 ਜਨਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਕਾਇਮ ਰਹੇਗੀ. That is a compliment to his mother. Let me put it like that. There are a number of perspectives in Gurbani on the theme of fear and fearlessness. And most of those perspectives have been covered by you. But just for completion, see the basic creed of Sikhism, that's the Mool Mantra, the symbol of Nirbhau stands for sovereignty and joy of the divine, who is without an authority over him or superior to him. Then the fear of God is not a sort of retribution, but it's a heightened sensitiveness to any deviation from moral and spiritual principles. Next is that it's really experiencing his presence. Dar dar marte jab jaane dur, dar chuka dekhya bharpur. It's really sinners who have to be in favor. So dare jo paap kamanda jiyo. Those who identify with the Guru, they don't have to be in fear. Sat kare jin Guru pachata, so kaye ko, so kahe ko darta jiyo. And those who remember God, they really don't have to be in fear. So kat dare jo khasam samare. And then the ideal person's attributes with Khalsa or Gurmukh, bhai kaun ko de dena, na bhai manta hu. I'm also reminded of see the Guru's instruction about the heroic life and death. Dhan jiyo taake jag mein mukhte hari chit mein जुद अवचारे, ज्ञाने की बढ़नी मने हाथ ले, कातरता कुतवार बिहारे. Katarta means timidness. Yeah, timidness. ये गुरु महाराज का दूसरा शब्द जो उन्होंने नाम एसोसिएटेड है, देव सेवा. शुभ कर्मन ते कबहु न डरे, निश्चय कर अपनी जीत करो, जूझ मरो. These are some of the characteristics of divine. The last point I will say, God himself has been envisaged as a destroyer of fear. कैसी आरती होए तेरी भाव खंडना. And there are a number of shabdas on this type of theme. But coming to this point, we'll cover the meaning part. How to attain it? There are so many shabdas and then again on the benefits. So I have taken but to complete this. Now how to become fearless? have been Nirbhau क्यों थिए गुरमुख शब्द समाए. सिमर सिमर प्रभ निर्भव होए, निर्भव भय संत भरम डार्यो पूरन सर्व गाय. है चर्चा रहे सो निर्भव होए. And the benefits when it come, निर्भव भय सगल भव मिटिया राखे राखन हारे. निर्भव भय प्राण चित्त सगल लई. भव नहीं सुख सहज आनंदा अनक हुई रे एक समाए. निर्भव भय कसम रंग राते जम की त्रास बजाए. निर्भव भय गुरचरणी लागे एक राम नाम आधारा निर्भव भय सदा सुख माने नानक हरि गुण गाए. So there are a very large number of, in fact I'm reminded of one quotation that the entire text of Guru Granth Sahib Ji is a sort of a prayer to the divine, the entire Granth. So I mean, so many rich resources we have, just that. Thank you so much. Sorry it took some time.
I have an observation. I just want to know if you think that's correct. You know, all our life we live in duality. And fear comes from duality. Duality being, you know, the separateness of God and us, of them and us, of us and the other. And I think this duality is the root of fear. Once we come into the Ekonkar sphere, you know, the field of oneness, you know, the field of abundance, the field of magnitude and generosity, and this duality goes away, you know, this separateness goes away. I think the fear goes away. That's just an observation.
That's a very valid way of looking at it. The other one he was talking about was love, which kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah. Because when we are
oneness and love kind of put together.
You know, coming down to the brass tacks of everyday life. I mean, I'm fearful of you when I think that you can hurt me, you can take something away from me. And when I feel that no one can touch me, right? And I know that I don't have to compete with you in any way, right? Then that fear goes away. Then that urge to be better than you goes away. So I think duality, just a thought, is perhaps at the root of fear.
I would like to try to answer one question. I don't think I have the answer. But there's one line here. Who is Nirbhau? This is from Guru Granth Sahib. And it's on page 586. पै विच सब आकार है निर्भव हरियो सोए. The entire universe is in fear. Only the dear Lord is fearless. So if you believe that only the dear Lord is fearless, the conclusion is that we can try to be Nirbhau, or we can try to be fearless, but we as human beings, we cannot be completely fearless. It's probably wrong to try
No,
too
it's
hard.
not wrong to try, because your confidence
Right.
and your strength and courage
Right.
comes from your faith. And we're not a faith of separation. We're a faith of a personal, deep, everyday, every moment connection with our Kalpura. And in that lies our strength.
That's true, but I was only answering the question.
And of course we are human, right? And we will fail.
Everything, the entire universe is in fear that it will be the end.
In listening to this discussion, I think that there's actually some unity in what's being said, though, because my own personal view on being fearless in my day-to-day life comes from this idea that the Creator's within me. And so when I think about that's the only place where there's fearlessness, I think about one of these moments when I feel fearless. So I feel fearless when, like, my child is in danger, and I have an instinct, my initial instinct before my colored duality mind comes into play, that instinct where I reach out and help the child, or even any child. That's the place that I feel I have that fearlessness, and I feel like nurturing it helps me connect with the Creator to have that fearlessness that the Creator has.
I remember to your point, when I had unheard, and the first time I left him with my mother-in-law or mother, I don't remember who, and when I got into the car, I was telling Gurjot, oh, I'm so scared to leave him. He goes, you think, Jagjot, my husband, very wise person, says, you think you are the caregiver? You think you are the one who's taking care? You're not. That made me relax. He says, just say Vaheguru and just relax.
Yeah, it comes down to the quotation that he was giving, God alone is fearless, and we are all full of fear. So it comes to who are we identifying with at that time.
Exactly.
When we identify with ego, with ourselves, when Home is there, then we are full of fear.
Absolutely.
When we identify with the divine, then he's without fear, so he'll take care of it. So whatever will happen, he'll eventually do the right thing. Once we identify with God and depend on him, and we surrender our own ego, then we can overcome some of these fears.
My question is, what sequence, like Udam, Hukam, Nadar, and Nirbhau? Where do we, Udam means, of course, like saying, like we all say that God has given you everything, also given you a brain to think about it. It's not just a weight on your head. So that's Udam, right? But sequence we go through. Udam, Hukam, Nadar, and Nirbhau.
I think it's iterative. I don't think there's a sequence. You can start at any one of those, but you have to kind of keep going around between these things. You can't give up any one. You can't say, I'll only do this, I won't do the others, because you have to touch all of them, and they all get strengthened as you go through it. So that's my view of it anyway.
I can give you a very personal answer. For me, a very personal answer. I was sitting here with you 2 months ago, and Virji came up and said, "Bhai, tu talk to me." I have no idea. I went to Jagmohan Virji. I said, please, I have no idea. मैं टॉपिक सोचा निर्भव कहते फिर निर्भव बन ना टॉपिक तो बोल निर्भव हो जाएगा गाली का I had analyzed hukam, nadar, waiting. To me, if I could be very simplistic, it was Uddam. उनको पता है सवेरे उठना है, नित्य करना है, पता है. तो उसके बाद analyze करने की लोड़ है. Why are we going through thinking of Excel and PowerPoint and हो जाएगा drawing diagrams? Just simply jump in, go in the water, डुब्बी जितना बड़ी कहना है. ते वीर I'm sorry, but मैं तो try करना है निर्भव. I just तुसी कह रहे थे कि it may be wrong to try to be निर्भव, but मैं तो कहना what a great thing. उद्यम करके रब ने नाल जुड़ना, duality दी गल है कि मैं तो कुछ है ही नहीं जग, वही है. If he's going to watch over me, how liberating would that be? I can live my life.
I completely agree. I was making a several
No,
I was going to ask you one question on the several point. Have you yet recognized a Nirbhau person? So I'm giving you the same answer. My understanding, if I read the Gurbani, whatever limited I read, there is no person who is Nirbhau.
According
to Gurbani, only Akal Purukh is Nirbhau. And when you connect yourself with him, for that moment you have the Nirbhau. But you also need to be careful that you can't be a reckless Nirbhau.
नहीं तो फिर होमे वाली गल लगी ना मैं निर्भव हो गया जी.
So that we were trying to answer the question whether there is a person who's Nirbhau, and you are saying the same thing. There is no person who is Nirbhau besides Home, right? But I was only simply saying that according to Gurbani, only Vaheguru Akal Purukh is Nirbhau, and we can become, at least for the while, we can become Nirbhau while we are connected to him.
One with Vaheguru duality नहीं रही, वो निर्भव नहीं हुआ.
Oh, I'm not sure whether that is possible all the time.
Let's find out.
No, I was asking you a question. No, I was asking you a question whether you have found out.
It probably takes one to recognize one.
Right. Okay. That means there is no way of knowing.
You're thinking about the situation that you are merged for a little time. But what happens is Nanak leen payo Gobind syo jiyo pani sang pani. Once you merge, the water merges, you cannot separate it out. Again Gurbani says, Jo har kant milaiyan se vichad kate na jaye. Acha. The topic you're talking about, Nirbhau, that is one of the characteristics of Vaheguru. Okay? And Nirbhau jap hai, sagal pav mit hai. you will see that. I think you have a beautiful presentation, just highlighting some of the things and the doubts they came in to clarify that. There is only one fear, and then there are thousands of fears. You will see all the mind. Nirbhau jap hai, sagal pomit. Sagal means multiple. Okay, one fear, and then you eliminate millions of fears. Jin Nirbhau, jin har Nirbhau te aaya ji, tinka pao sab gavasi, sara, multiple. So if we have one fear, fear of one, then multiple fears go away. एक से पहले यह चीज है और दूसरा, as you are saying, you have seen a fearless person. Yes, the person who merges into him is fearless, and you don't think in this way. They are only that time they are fearless. They are fearless forever. As you gave the example of Kabir Das ji, मन न डिगे तन काहे को डराए. He is fearless forever. Bhagat Namdev ji, all these Bhagats which are sitting in Guru Granth Sahib, all those people, they were fearless. Jo har kant milaiyan se vichad kate na jaye. Once they become fearless, they will remain fearless forever.
Manu, yeah.